Raiders lose a locker room leader. John Jenkins signs with Ravens. Veteran defensive tackle John Jenkins is officially gone. He's signed with the Baltimore Ravens, ending his time with the Silver and Black. Now, this move wasn't unexpected. At 34 years old, Jenkins was likely nearing the end of his Raiders chapter. But make no mistake, he was a big presence in that locker room. Guys like Maxx Crosby, Malcolm Kuntze, and Tyrie Wilson all looked up to him. Coaches, including Rob Leonard, praised his leadership and discipline. Jenkins wasn't a sack machine like Jalen Carter, but he played hard, did the dirty work, and took on tough assignments every week. He logged a lot of snaps for Vegas over the past 2 seasons. So who replaces that role? The Raiders have added Christian Wilkins and Adam Butler, but they're different types of players, quicker, leaner, and more mobile. Wilkins is a strong run defender, but neither guy quite fits Jenkins' mold. That said, the defensive line is still in a great spot, and honestly, we don't even know if new GM John Spytek had any interest in bringing Jenkins back. No reported offer, no drama, just business. There's a buzz coming out of Raiders camp, and it's all about Ashton Genty. From the moment he arrived, something unusual caught the coaching staff's attention. It wasn't his speed or power, it was his stance. That upright, almost vertical position he used in college. Yeah, the one that went viral? The Raiders weren't having it. Most NFL running backs crouch low, balanced, ready to explode. But Genty's upright stance, it stood out. So the Raiders got to work, and fast. And guess who stepped in on day 1 of rookie minicamp? Chip Kelly. In a moment that's already becoming legendary, Kelly walked up and asked, "You ever play basketball?" Genty nodded. Kelly tossed him an imaginary ball. "Show me how you'd guard me." Genty dropped low into a classic defensive stance. And just like that, Kelly smiled and said, "Exactly. That's how you need to be as a running back." And boom, lesson delivered. Genty admitted that Chip won that day. He's not in love with the new stance yet, but he gets it. It's about trust, growth, and proving yourself on the field before questioning the process. Before we dive into more updates from Raiders camp, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and smash that bell icon so you don't miss a second of Raiders action. Let's get back to the latest news. Las Vegas Raiders. Ashton Genty's new stance and brutal. 2025. Schedule. Something fascinating is happening with the Raiders, and it starts with rookie running back Ashton Genty. When Genty arrived in Vegas, the coaching staff immediately honed in on something unusual: his pre-snap stance. For over a year, football fans and analysts have been intrigued by how he lines up. Most running backs crouch low, center their weight, and stay balanced. But Genty, he stood nearly upright, almost like a basketball defender. And that caught Chip Kelly's attention fast. On the first day of rookie minicamp, Kelly walked up to Genty and asked, "You ever play basketball?" Genty, a natural athlete, said yes. "Show me how you'd guard me," Kelly said. Genty dropped into a defensive stance. "That," Kelly responded, "is how I want you lined up in the backfield." It was a teaching moment, and it worked. Genty's changing his stance, not just for form, but for function. With Kelly's offense built around outside and wide zone runs, timing is everything. When the quarterback takes multiple steps before handing the ball off, the running back must be explosive out of the gate. 1 extra second in the NFL isn't just a delay, it's a missed block or a blown play. But while Genty adjusts, there's another, much bigger concern looming for the Raiders: their brutal 2025 schedule. According to Sharp Football Analysis, a trusted name in football analytics, no team is more disadvantaged than the Raiders. Here's why: fewest games with a rest advantage. Most games with a rest disadvantage. Net rest edge, -19 days, the worst in the NFL multiple early road games and short week matchups. In 6 different games, the Raiders will face teams coming off extra rest, while they'll have 1 fewer day to recover. That's massive. In a sport where players are managing bruised ribs, aching knees, and torn ligaments by week 15, even one day can determine who's ready to go and who's sitting out. The margin for error in the NFL is razor thin, and with the odds stacked against them, the Raiders will need more than talent. They'll need grit, discipline, and a little bit of luck. The Raiders are getting hit harder than any other team, and it's not just about opponents. The Las Vegas Raiders aren't just facing tough teams this season, they're facing time itself. According to advanced analytics from Sharp Football Analysis, the Raiders are set to play 6 games where they'll have less rest than their opponents. Only one game this season gives them a rest advantage. The other 10 matchups? Completely even in rest. That's a net disadvantage of 19 full days, the worst rest schedule in the entire NFL. Why does this matter? Because by the time Week 15 rolls around, everyone is hurting. And that one extra day of recovery might be the difference between Maxx Crosby chasing the quarterback or watching from the sidelines. At first glance, the schedule doesn't look overwhelming. The opponents are tough, sure, but not unbeatable. What's troubling is the way the season is structured. In the first 7 games, 4 are on the road, including multiple cross-country trips to the East Coast. Fly out, fly back, and then fly out again. That's not just tough on game planning, it's brutal on players' bodies. Still, there's a silver lining. Many of those early matchups are winnable. If the Raiders can survive the first half of the season and stay relatively healthy, they could make a serious push down the stretch. But staying healthy is the key. Last season, the defensive line was decimated. Christian Wilkins, Malcolm Kunze, and even Maxx Crosby missed major time. That can't happen again. This year's success hinges on 2 things: a healthy defense and the young offensive core stepping up. The road ahead is rough, the schedule is relentless. But if the Raiders are built for anything, it's resilience. The Raiders' receivers are already putting in the extra work, but not everyone is there. While most players are easing into the offseason, some Raiders are already grinding, and it could pay off in a big way. Quarterback Geno Smith recently trained with wide receivers Jacoby Myers and rookie Dante Thornton Jr. The 3 joined a workout session alongside Alabama's elite college wideouts, some of the top NFL prospects for next year. That's not just casual training, that's high-level, competitive work. But one detail stands out. Not all of the Raiders' young weapons were there. No Trey Tucker, no Jack Beck. Now, Beck had a valid excuse. He was attending the NFL Rookie Premiere event, but Tucker's absence is notable. And this kind of off-season effort matters. These sessions build chemistry, sharpen timing, and prepare guys for the long grind ahead. For a team that's trying to build a new offensive identity, these early reps can make a difference once the real games start. Of course, some players like Brock Bowers are taking a different route. He's finishing his degree before joining the team full-time, so he'll be playing a bit of catch-up during OTAs. That's not a huge issue, especially for a tight end, but every rep counts when you're trying to get up to NFL speed. Bottom line, the foundation for a strong season is being laid right now, and the players who show up early are usually the ones who show up big on Sundays. Why these off-season reps could be a game-changer for the Raiders' offense. One of the biggest advantages a wide receiver can have? Chemistry with his quarterback. It's not just about speed or hands, it's about timing. On plays like a dagger concept where the receiver runs a 15-yard in-breaking route, the exact second he cuts inside matters. A split-second delay can ruin the entire play. Now think about this. Jacoby Myers, Dante Thornton Jr., and Geno Smith are already working on that timing, and that matters. Myers might not be as fast as someone like Trey Tucker, but his route precision could give him an edge. Meanwhile, Thornton's speed gives him explosive potential, but only if the quarterback knows when to expect the break. The more reps these guys get together now, the fewer mistakes they'll make when it counts. Sure, the full offense may not click right away, but this kind of early work builds a foundation. You'll see it pay off by mid-season. And the fact that a rookie like Thornton is showing up early? That's a good sign. It's not just about talent, it's about effort, timing, and building trust. Mark your calendars. Raiders preseason kicks off August 7th. Football is almost back, and for Raider Nation, the countdown officially starts on August 7th. That's when the Silver and Black return to the field for their first preseason game of 2025. It may just be preseason, but for fans and players alike, this is the moment where everything starts to take shape. It's our first real look at the rookies, backups, and camp standouts who've been grinding all summer. Here's the full preseason schedule. August 7th, preseason opener, 7 p.m. kickoff. August 16th, Raiders vs. 49ers. August 23rd, final preseason game versus Cardinals. These games might not count in the standings, but they do count for every player fighting for a roster spot. And for fans, it's a first glimpse of what this 2025 Raiders team could become. Up next, one Raiders veteran is officially out. Do you think the Raiders are a real Super Bowl contender this year? Let me know what you think in the comments. Thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.